Hi, Catherine here with the Nutshell support team. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a sales process in Nutshell and share an understanding of how using Nutshell's sales processes can help you close more deals and grow your business. Process management is at the heart of Nutshell, and you can use it to keep your leads on a consistent path to successful sales. If you're not on our Nutshell Pro plan and you're wondering if you even need a sales process, check out this blog post. Basically, the sales process is a set of steps to help guide you through the process of closing a sale. Each step works like a checklist in a larger section that we call stages. Stages are gateways that your leads can enter as they move through your pipeline. For example, your first stage might be qualification, where you work to contact your lead to see if your product offering is a good fit for them. The steps would include making contact, maybe getting past a gatekeeper to determine the decision maker, and having the right conversation to identify their pain points. When an open lead is assigned to one of your sales reps, they'll see all of their upcoming steps on their dashboard. So each member of your team knows exactly what they need to do each day. Setting up your sales process gets the busy work out of the way so that reps can focus on what really matters, crushing targets day in and day out. Let's talk about how to set up your sales process and the different options that are available to automate your workflow. First, you'll want to define your stages. You can include up to 20 stages in your process. If you've already opened a lead in Nutshell, you saw a pop-up where you might have already entered your stages. You can always come into Setup to edit your stages. You can report on leads in different stages in Nutshell, so be sure to think about what milestones your leads should be reaching as they move through your sales flow. Entering a new stage marks important progress towards closing a deal. You can create, delete, rename, and reorder your stages here in Setup. Your sales process steps are action items that prompt your team to engage with your customer or to do work that puts them one step closer to closing the deal. Once all the steps in a stage are completed, leads automatically move to the next stage. You can also skip irrelevant steps or jump ahead in the process if needed. For example, the lead has already established themselves as qualified and willing to buy. You can add, remove, and reorder your steps. Give each step a name. Each step can be given a due date after the process begins, meaning after the lead is opened and the process is attached, or after the step becomes workable. To make a step workable, give it a prerequisite step. This is useful for ensuring that each step happens in your intended order. You might want to allow a delay for certain steps. Say your leads are expressing interest on your website, but you need to schedule a visit to review product specifics in person. Scheduling conflicts mean that you aren't able to schedule the visit until your prospect is back from vacation. Add a potential delay excuse here to push a step back on your rep's dashboard and let them focus on their other prospects. We'll talk about setting up delays a little later in Chapter 6. Add a description to your step to tell your reps any useful information for completing the step. For example, let them know that they should only complete the make contact step if they have actually spoken to a decision maker. You can add a requirement to your step to make it easier to collect information. Say you're running some specific email campaigns to open leads to improve conversion. You can require that an email address be added to the contact person before your rep can complete the step and move on in the process. You can also require that certain requirements be met for the lead to be won. Your custom fields on companies, people, and leads can be used as requirements. Sometimes, not every step that you create will be relevant to every lead. If a step is optional, make it skippable. Your reps can skip the step even if there is a requirement in place. However, if the requirement must be met to win the lead, they won't be able to mark the lead as won if they've skipped the step without meeting the requirement. Your steps can also be assigned to certain team members. This is useful if you have someone who's always responsible for a certain task, like reviewing a contract. When the step becomes workable, it will appear on the assignee's dashboard, while all the other steps are on the dashboard of the team member who the lead is assigned to. Automating certain actions within your sales process is one of Nutshell's most advanced and powerful features. Using this magic wand icon, you can select your trigger and actions. The simplest option is to perform an action when the step is marked complete, or you can perform an action when the step is complete and specific conditions, denoted by your decision custom fields, have been met. You can attach an overlay process to add new steps into your sales process. The steps will mesh into your existing stages so that you can help guide your reps toward a successful sale. This option could be useful when you have a skippable step, where skipping the step will allow your reps to continue moving through the basic process, but completing the step will add more details. For example, you could say, complete this step if samples are requested, with an overlay step for mailing some samples and following up to get the prospect's thoughts on the samples. If the samples are not requested, your rep can simply skip this step. Your decision custom fields can be used to trigger an overlay process using the any and all options. The next option is to change the lead status. For example, say your last step in the process is to verify that payment was received. At that point, the rep can complete the step and the lead will automatically be won. When auto-closing a lead with lost or canceled status, you can specify the reason as an outcome. We'll explain outcomes in Chapter 6. You can automatically update your lead confidence levels as you progress through the sales process. Since the confidence level is tied into your pipeline reporting, this can be helpful to ensure that your forecast is more accurate. If you're using Nutshell's integration with MailChimp for email campaigns, you can add people to a MailChimp list from directly within your sales process simply by completing a step. This can be helpful for sending them a series of nurturing emails automatically as you work them through the process. Let's dive into the ways that Nutshell does the busy work for your team and ensures that your sales funnels are distributed correctly. We're going to hop into triggers. The first step here is to set a default sales process. Choose the process that you want assigned to all your new leads. You can also have no default process if you don't want your reps to start working through steps right away. Define process selection rules to automatically give your leads a specific process. Using any or all logic, you can have multiple criteria in place. I want all leads in the insurance industry and web signup source to be assigned to my process for insurance online signups. As a reminder, all the criteria listed here are customizable in setup. Your process selection rules will be applied when you first open a new lead, so if you add the industry, source, or other criteria after the lead is opened, the process will not change on your leads. That's just one of the reasons you can use the overlay process. They will apply whenever you add a specified product, competitor, or source. Overlays are regular sales processes defined in the processes section that will apply on top of your existing process. Your steps will fall into the existing stages as additional reminders during the process. I'm going to add an overlay process for my product record player to upsell my prospects on a sweet deal on vinyl records, since I distribute both. I'm also going to add an overlay process for my competitor that ensures any prospect knows exactly why they should go with our services over theirs. If you are allowing steps to be delayed from their due date, you can set up the reasons and the length of each delay here. Common reasons for delaying a step are could not reach decision maker, or contact is out of town, or interested but not ready to buy. Selecting a maximum number of times that a certain delay can be used is helpful to help your reps keep track of their delays. Say I've delayed a step 7 times already because I keep reaching voicemail and can't make contact. It probably isn't worth my time to continue chasing down that lead, so I mark the lead as canceled. This brings us to defining outcomes. Customizing lead outcomes for lost and canceled deals helps you gain insight over time into why your team is missing out on sales and identifies trends to proactively change your approach. I want to add a lost outcome of went with competitor. Using Nutshell's built-in competitor field, I can see how many leads I lost to certain competitors and how often, so we can reevaluate our strategy against them. Now you're ready to take over the world. Well, maybe not the world, but you now have an easy way to keep your team aligned and focused on meeting their goals, instead of getting lost in the organizational details of spreadsheets, calendars, post-its, notebooks, phone reminders. You get the idea. Once in place, your sales process will show you the state of your sales funnel like never before. It's easier than ever to get the big picture and keep the whole team on track without the frustration of knowing whether they're on the right cadence, putting you miles ahead of the game. Now get closing.